So with Freddie the Fly series, you have 5 books, and they have your main character, Freddie. What other themes tie your series together?
The other themes in them, I think there's a good theme of friendship as well, showing you that, again, you're not alone. Since Freddie is in all of them, he's going through the same problems that the other characters might go through. And it shows that, you're not isolated, that you can have a problem, you can share it, that's okay. And there will be people there to help you with that. There's no shame in that.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned earlier the the artwork. Brian Martin is your illustrator, and the artwork is so fun in your storybooks too.
He is amazing. He brings the characters to life in a way that, makes it so enjoyable for everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure that process is really fun. Being now working on your 5th book of seeing your stories and your characters. How does having after that first book and having it come alive, did that make it easier to write the next ones?
It did because he did a really good job of, even with very limited kind of conversation of taking the pictures I had in my head and bringing them to life. And once I had those, they felt even more real to me in some kind of way where I could now visualize them from that book and have them being, I could hear their voices and acting out the problems. So it definitely made it easier moving forward.
Great. Well, you have 5 books in your series already. What's next for you? Got any
Um,
plans?
well, I definitely love to keep going with Freddie. He is near and dear to my heart, and I have lots of ideas for him. I'd probably love to introduce some new characters, maybe in either another format or an older maybe series even. And one thing I've kind of been thinking about, but the whole pandemic has put it a little more on the back burner, is trying to find more ways to connect with families. I'd love to maybe hold a workshop or a course where I could really interact with them because I don't get to see them all that often, so that would be really nice.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And something in the back of every one of your books, you also always have tips for parents and teachers.
Yes. That's one thing that I do love about Boys Town, that they have those teacher tips, the parent tips. So it's something that it doesn't just have to be used by a therapist or, an educator even. It can be used at home. It's a way that, we want everyone to feel like this is a resource for them.
Yeah, definitely. And the lesson is so with every book, there is lessons, and kids will learn a very important social skill and ways to handle stress and anxiety and that type of thing. And it's an easy way to help kids learn those important social skills and develop their social and emotional learning.
Definitely that. And also, I hope it's, bringing more interaction between families, like bringing them together. We're all so busy, but if they can take, a moment to read the books or try the activities, it's just a great way to, have some family time and you'll learn things about each other that you didn't know before.
Yeah, and especially with Freddie, having it be the insects and the group of friends and everything, like you said earlier, it helps to facilitate conversations because you're not necessarily talking about. You can talk about it in a outside perspective, and that's helpful for not only teachers, counselors, but parents.
Yes. It makes everyone feel a little more comfortable, I feel like sometimes. It at least gets it started and then eventually, hopefully, if there is a problem, you can turn it more internal.
Yeah. And you can always talk about, what did Freddie do? And how did that go for Stella? And what did Mrs. Stinger say? And those types of things. And you can have those great conversations and great learning. It's not, and to combine reading with social skill lessons it's a win-win.
I agree completely. And another fun thing you can do with it, sometimes I'll take pictures of the kids and I'll tape them into the books and then be like, oh, now you're Freddie. What are you going to do in this situation? And see, after reading it a few times and be like, how are you going to react? And see if they have a new answer that maybe we didn't think of.
Oh, I know. It's so great. You learn so much from the kids when you can turn around and ask, what would you do in this situation? Why is this important to you? And really looking from that kind of kid-centered perspective. And you do such a wonderful job of writing from a relatable, kids-centered perspective.
Well, thank you. I say it's because I'm still a kid at heart, but
Well, I think that's probably true. And your work with kids in that way, being able to see things and present them in a way that you can relate, where they can relate to, and draw those connections is so important.
I agree. I think it is a very important piece.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It is so fun to hear about your new book. We look forward to it coming out in February, and we look forward to more of what is going on in Freddie and some more of his friends. There's some fun insects that you can bring into the group and enjoy that. And we hope you'll come back. We want to do some more of these kind of opportunities where people can get to know you. You can talk about your stories and what's coming up and make those connections. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, I had such a good time.
Before we go, else can we find you? How else can parents, teachers find you? Are you social media on?
Yeah, I'm mostly Instagram. I'm at the speech vine is my handle, I guess it is called.
Okay.
So I post a lot of tips there for parents, speech therapy tips, social skills tips, as well as just, some funny things to lighten the mood sometimes. So that's a great place. I have a website, socationbooks.com. And then, of course, I feel like boysdownpress.com is one of the best places to start from and get all the information.